Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. Well, what a great view, right? Got a bunch of packages in from eBay. Two of them came in these really big boxes, which is really odd because I didn't order anything that big. But in any case, what I thought I would do is a quick unboxing video, show you a few knives that I've recently picked up, and go for it from there. But first, let's get this out of the way, and then we'll get started. So, now the way I normally do an unboxing video is I don't show the whole box getting opened and everything, because sometimes the person who wrapped it up, especially when it's coming from eBay, they will put it in like 17 layers of bubble wrap, and they'll use duct tape and all sorts of things. And you don't need to see that. You don't need to hear me swearing and everything else as I try to unwrap what should have been a knife wrapped in a piece of paper stuck inside an envelope. In any case, let's get started with the first knife. And well, the first one I had already opened, actually. It is a Marvel's exhibition grade knife, and it is a Barlo, which kind of makes sense because I've been on a Barlo kick, and I wanted this one because this is a really sweet little Barlo. Now, it isn't perfect, I'll tell you that right now, but I do like it quite a bit, and I really like the checker bone on here. I could have done without the Marvel's bullet shield there, but yeah, nice wedge on the blade. You got the Marvel's blade edge going on there. I think this is in 440, but they don't say what is the number on it. It's the 0065, so the MR 0065. Clip blade and pin blade, Barlo, nickel silver bolster. You got a ring on the top and a ring on the top. I'm sorry, ring on the top and bottom, and then a pinch bolster at the top too. But really nice little knife. So got that one in. I will be talking about this one more when I get into my Barlo stuff. Matter of fact, a couple of these knives are probably Barlos. Let's move on to the next package. This one I do have to open up. What the heck? Maybe that's the way I'm going to do this. I'm going to use the current knife to open the package. There we go. How badly is this one wrapped? Here we go. Lots of wrapping. So let me get it out of the package. Okay, that one was a little more sensible than I thought it would be. But you do have the bubble wrap there. And then I guess this was the code, because I think this came from a pawn shop, 316633014422. I don't know what that's for. That must have been their code. Anyway, let's get it out of the package here. It is another Barlo. Who is this one for? This is, oh, Ideal. The Ideal Barlo by Ideal USA. And got this one for a dirt cheap price too. Interesting clip blade here. I think it's was originally a spear blade, but I think somebody actually did some file work there. Might have not. And then you got the pin blade for the secondary. I'm going to be doing a nice chat about Ideal knives in the very near future. So far we've got two Barlos. Let me grab. I almost want to open this one in front of the camera to see just how badly it was packed in a 6x6 box, but I think I'm going to pause. Like I said, I should at least see how dull this knife is. Yeah, this is definitely going to need some sharpening. My Ideal knife, man, this is dull. Oh my god, can't even cut through the tape. So this is pretty dull. I wonder if the spear blade is better. First test on these knives. The pin blade is better than the spear blade. So yeah, that worked out a little bit better. All right, now, okay, a lot of paper. Let me get this out of the box and we'll see what we got. So this is everything that was in there, a bunch of plastic bags, and then the knife wrapped in bubble wrap. So way too big of a box for what I received. So let's get her opened up. Okay, I cut the tape, unrolled it. That's all they did, was they just rolled it up in bubble wrap. And the knife was this one here. It is the Gene Autry Master Barlo from Riders of the Silver Screen. This one is dated from 1999, I think. I think that's what it says. Yeah, 1999 SMKW. So this should be, yeah, Novelty Knife Company USA. I will be talking about this knife very soon. I'm going to be doing a video on all my 5-inch Barlows, and the Master Barlows fall into that. So I'll talk more about that one when the time comes. Let's see here. Where's the next one? Another envelope. Let's cut it open with the Gene Autry Master Barlo. Oh man, that worked really well. So, first cut test for the Master Barlo came off pretty good. Let's see, what did they do? Here we go. At least it's in painter's tape, and painter's tape is easy to come apart. I don't think this is a Barlo. Might be. Can't tell. Yeah. Okay, time to pause. I'm going to unpause here because this is something that drives me nuts with people when they pack stuff. They will wrap it in a plastic bag. Okay, that's a good thing. But then they put so many pieces of tape around it, and there's no way to get the tape off without cutting through the tape. And the next thing you know, you're cutting all the way into part of the knife or something, and you're damaging the knife because you cut too deeply through all the tape that they put around the bag and everything. And that just drives me nuts. And even if it is a cheap, inexpensive knife, it's aggravating. So folks, please, pack responsibly and pack more intelligently than trying to make sure. I guess they're worried, well, somebody might steal it or something. They're going to steal it no matter how you wrap it up. All right, this is another one. This is a diamond edge. This is by Imperial, and it's promoting DuPont something another. I wonder if I can get that off. I bet I can. I'm going to try and remove the stamp here. I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. In any case, this is Imperial, Providence, Rhode Island, and USA going down the side. So it is one of the later ones here, and nice pin blade there. So yeah, Barlow. So far we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 Barlows. Well, I have been on a Barlow kick, so what do you expect? Another big box. I'm gonna crack it open and see how it goes. So again, it was a 6x6 box. We got a bunch of paper in there, and then we got all sorts of bubble wrap. And for a one knife, that's all that's in here. One knife. It would have been easier to just a couple layers of bubble wrap in an envelope, but nope. They sent it this way, and at least we finally have something that is not a Barlow, huh? And this is a big old Marlin Spike knife, and the reason I picked this one up is, well, because of where it comes from. Notice the back here, it's got the screwdriver on the back. You got the clevis there, the big old Marlin Spike, nice and straight too. This is very similar to the British, the Royal Navy Marlin Spike knife. Let me grab one of those real quick. Here's the Royal Navy knife. You see that? About the same size and everything. Same clevis on the back. You've got the screwdriver tip on the back and the Marlin Spike on the bottom. This one does look a little straighter. The reason I grabbed this though is, well, it was relatively inexpensive. You got the big old sheepfoot blade, and if you notice, Gerlach, doesn't say so anything on the side over here, but if it's Gerlach, then most likely this knife was made in Poland, and that's the main reason I grabbed it, because it's a Marlin Spike knife out of Poland. Gerlach is a Polish knife company, and I just don't have that many knives from there, so I wanted to grab this one because of that, and also because it's a Marlin Spike, and I really like to collect Marlin Spikes. So I'll be talking about this knife a little bit more when I learn a little bit more about it. Also, if you're looking for other versions of this, Rough Rider makes a couple versions of this knife too, and they have it in a micarta cover on them. But it's a really cool knife. This is a big bulky one. These are 5 inches or more, I think. Let's see here. How long is that? A little bit less. It's 4 3/4 inches closed. 5 inches if you include the screwdriver tip down here. And this is a design that has been around for since around 1897 or so, I think, something like that. I don't know for certain, but it's somewhere around, from the 1890s. That's when the British came up with the design of it. This one here is from World War II. I don't know when this one was made. Don't know a lot about it, but the fact that it was made by Gerlach, I just had to grab it. And so that's some of the knives I've recently picked up from eBay, and notice a lot of Barlows. I have been on a Barlo kick, like I've mentioned. Oh wait, I got one more knife. Hold on. Not exactly sure what this one is. Oh wait, no, I do know what this one is. It is also another Barlo, and I have actually had one of these in the past on the channel. I really need to sharpen this thing, but it got it open. Bought this one because it is, I guess you could say it's one of the modern style of Barlows or something, but I grabbed it because it is a 4-inch one, and this is the Co Pepper and BJB. I don't know what the BJB is. It might be the same thing I had before. Let me see if I can get the box open. This unboxing doesn't count, right? Okay. There we go. And brown jig bone, that's what it is. And copper bolster on there. And you see there, it's got a bomb shield, and it says Kershaw on the bomb shield. Yeah. And this is the got a stop bar on the bottom there. Very much a not quite modern take on a Barlo, but it is taking advantage of many of the modern build techniques for it. Similar to the Rough Rider Reserve Barlo. You know, it's a little sleeker and everything else. It feels like it might be running on a washer. I don't know. Anyway, I grabbed this one because it's 4 inches long, and that's what I was looking for. Got the yeah. This is pretty cool. I will be talking more about this one again. Like I said, I already had one version of it already. I came across it in a traveling knife review. Someone was passing around the Kershaw Co Pepper. I wanted to take a look at it. I'm not exactly sure what I said at the time about it. I need to go back and look at that again because, well, as you can see, I picked it up again, so I must have liked it. One of the reasons I picked this up, though, is because I was going to compare it to the Rough Rider Reserve Barlo, and also to the Jack Wolf Gateway Barlo, but did not manage to snag one of the Jack Wolf Gateway Barlows, because what I thought was happening with the Gateway Barlows is they were going to be kind of like a knife that was produced in large numbers so that anyone would be able to pick it up, even if it was at $60, sort of like the Co Pepper knife here. and also like the Rough Rider Reserve Barlows, but no, they were not made in that large a quantity because they sold out in about 3 to 5 seconds everywhere they were located at. You do not sell out thousands of knives in 3 seconds. You sell out 20s or hundreds of knives in 3 to 5 seconds. You don't sell out large numbers. So they were not produced in large numbers. They were produced in about the same size numbers as the other Jack Wolf knives, as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Also, I noticed that they were promoted in the same fashion as the other Jack Wolf knives. So all the people who were doing all the YouTubers who were doing Jack Wolf reviews, apparently they all got one of the Jack Wolf Gateway knives so they could rave about how great they were. I don't know why they bother if they're going to sell out in 5 seconds. You don't need somebody to push it if it's going to sell out in 5 seconds. Anyway, never mind. So much for a rant. That's not what I meant to do, but that's where I went with this. Anyway, so now I will be comparing the Co Pepper to the Rough Rider Reserve because I couldn't get a Gateway. Maybe it's just sour grapes on my part. I don't know. Anyway, if you did get one of those Gateways and you're not one of the typical Jack Wolf reviewers, you know, the people who receive the free knife to say nice things about it, you know, somebody who actually purchased one and managed to snag one from any number of places that were selling them, I would love to hear an honest opinion of it. Was it worth $70, or am I better off just spending the $30 on the Co Pepper here? What was the steel in the Co Pepper? D2. So this is in D2. The Gateway, the Jack Wolf Gateway, is an 8CR. I don't know, D2, 8CR. You be the judge of that too. Anyway, those are the recent knives that I purchased recently, or the knives that I've recently got off of eBay. I would have loved to have shown a Gateway, but didn't get one. Not because I didn't try, just because they sold out in 3 seconds. So, that's the way that goes. Anyway, if you like this stuff, if you want to see me do some other unboxings, let me know. You'll get a first opinion of the knife. Usually I don't do unboxings on the channel. I do them in Kitty's Corner, the members area. I do them there more often than I do them on the regular channel, mainly because I would prefer to give a more thought out review of the knife if I'm going to do a review of the knife. But I figured most of these were going to be used knives that were coming in, and they were, other than the Co Pepper. But in any case, I picked up 1, 2, 3 USA made Barlows, 2 Chinese made Barlows, and a Polish Marlin Spike. So that's the latest knives that I have picked up. And with that said, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, try to remember to give the thumbs up down there, and you know, leave a comment, especially if you got a Gateway. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on the Gateway. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these knives, especially the Co Pepper, because this is still something that is out there that is available, the Kershaw Co Peppers. And with that said, you know, don't forget to consider subscribing if you're enjoying the channel. Any case, with that said, I will let you go and talk to you again soon. Let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with Tobias. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.